Page 78, scaling in B flat major. We've had C major is no sharps or flats, G major 1 sharp, F major is 1 flat, now we've had D major is 2 sharps, and now we get B flat major, which has 2 flats. Not the order I would teach them in, but this is the order they've chosen, so that's fine. We will do this. I'll encourage you to go to my video on B flat major and go through it. Now, these scales are excellent warm-up things. I used to use them in college a lot. I warmed up with the scales and arpeggios before practicing the pieces, okay, because they get the blood going and the fingers loosened up and ready to go. It also makes it a whole lot easier to play pieces in that key if you can play the scale and you know the chords. This page we study the scale. Fingering is quite different here. In the right hand, I like the fingering they've got because the 4th finger plays the B flat in the scale, period, okay? Start there. Some teachers will say, well, you're just starting, it's just a starting note, so just use your 2nd finger, it's okay. And I say, no. I totally disagree with that. The 4th finger plays that note, so use the 4th finger on the B flat, because we're starting on a B flat. The B flat scale starts on B flat. It's the name of the scale, right? C starts on C. D starts on D. B flat starts on B flat. And it follows that pattern of whole steps and half steps for any major scale. So you have the B flat and the E flat. So you start here and thumb comes under to play the C. Play the E flat. Then the thumb comes under to play the F. You already know about the 4th finger plays the B flat. Now if you're going to keep going up, you'd put the thumb on the C so you could keep going. Otherwise you use the little finger as a turnaround finger. And on the 4th finger. In the left hand, the 3rd finger plays the B flat. You start on the 4th finger. I'm going to go down and up, alright? Then thumb. 4th finger plays the E flat, thumb plays the D, okay? In contrary motion, good luck. Completely different. Contrary motion, you're starting, for instance, here, and then the left hand, you're starting here, 2 different fingers. Just very carefully work these out. Learn the scale pretty well one hand at a time before you try this. Just remember where the 4th finger plays. The 4th finger only plays 1 note on any major scale, believe it or not. And in B flat major in the right hand, the 4th finger plays the B flat. It's the only note it plays. In the left hand, the 4th finger plays the E flat. So as you're coming up, make sure you get the 4th finger on the E flat and you'll be in position for the rest of them. Another way of doing it is simply put your hand in the position you need to go and hit all the notes at once that you can. And the next one, the 4th here, and then here. There's another way of approaching it. This will be tricky. But in time you will get this, and don't rush past it. Oh, this is hard, I can't handle it. No, this is challenging. I'm really surprised they did this soon. This is more, in my opinion, more of an intermediate level scale to learn. But even in my scale videos, I encourage you to do up to 4 sharps and 4 flats. So I suppose we better do it. There is a gotcha in this. What they've done here. I don't know if they did this on purpose or not. Happens twice. I guess you could say there's 2 gotchas, but they're identical. So take a look at the 2nd line and the 2nd measure. Or if you'd prefer, the last line, 2nd measure. This is the same thing. In the right hand, you have the E flat coming down. You're going to play the B flat in the 4th finger. And then you got the thumb in the next one. So that's fine. But in the left hand, you're coming up, and when When you get to the B flat, you're playing B flat with both hands. They don't indicate that here. There's nothing to tell you in the music that you're doing that. You got to wait until you get there, and when you're fumbling over yourself, you don't know what you're doing, you finally realize, oh, both hands are playing that note. I do not recommend you play it with both hands. I don't. When you're here, you're crossing over the thumbs on both hands. In the left hand, you're going the third finger, and the right hand is the fourth finger. I recommend you just play it with one of the hands. Either one you have. It's easier for you with the third finger than let the left hand play it. Okay? Otherwise, you can play it here. Or, another way of doing it is the first time, since it's repeated, you're going to play it twice. The first time, play it with the right hand. The second time, play it with the left hand. Okay? Just don't try and play it with both hands. I'm surprised they didn't put something in there to indicate. I mean, they could have put one of them in parentheses. That indicates, oh, it's being played by something else. You don't have that problem if you follow the note at the bottom of the page where they're suggesting you play it 2 or 3 octaves apart. Then both hands can play that note, and maybe that's what they have in mind when they did this. I don't know. But they've had this note on all the other scales. I didn't bother to bring it out. I mean, you can read it and do it yourself. You don't need me to tell everything about it, right? Let's play it together. There's nothing new here. It is repeated. We're going to play it twice. It's in common time. I'll give us 4 counts. So we'll start with the right hand here. When the left hand comes out, remember third finger on it. Be ready. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest. Rest. Repeat. Rest. 3, rest.